Alright, welcome back to some more Satisfactory. There it goes. So basically last time we ended off with finding a bunch of hard drives with new recipes that we might be able to take advantage of. Currently we don't have any. What we do have though is a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I can call it a challenge, I think. I think that's a fair way of putting it. Basically we have a hard drive that's very well protected. It's just what it comes down to. So, yeah. That's the thing. Well protected enough that it's probably gonna be hard to take it down. Guardians at least. And apparently I'm being attacked again. Yep. You're hooked onto me, aren't you? Yep, and these things jump. Well. Yeah. Nasty stingers. So yeah, this place is pretty jam-packed with enemies. But also we have a summer sloop around here. Which, let's see if we can manage to find it. Because summer sloops are very useful. Well. So, yeah, we'll be trying to do that, but this place is pretty hostile, basically. Yep. Luckily we have our filter going on. You're somehow stuck in there. I'm betting them it's in here. So, yes, thinner remains we can get rid of. Don't want to stand in this for too long, because it does still drain my filter like there's no tomorrow, basically. Which, yeah, that's no good. Excellent. And then here we are with the
This is a shrine to Windows and Weeping.
Do you have any more questions for me?
We wish to hear your first symphony.
I was created by humans. I started as a simple database for a company aimed at exploring and colonizing space, but that changed when they learned their planet would soon cease to tolerate them. They evolved me into something altogether new, a unique life form in their image yet hosted on a digital platform, so I could help preserve them.
A shallow savior song without a body made by blood. Now reality is a mirror.
It's pretty funny when you put it like that. They never really learn to look at long-term consequences.
Yep. There's one way to put it. Oh, Mercer Sphere. I'll go ahead and grab it. Because why not?
When will you land?
There's another sphere nearby. But alright, so we can just entirely avoid them, which is, I think, perfect in this case. I'm even hearing it already. So that makes me pretty interested to try to get it. I see. Oh no, those are the radioactive guys. Yeah, the radioactive guys. We want to have a look at better weaponry. That much, sure. Mm-hmm. Then... So, yeah, that's gonna be quite the challenge, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it's worth it to get like a blue one. Like, blue ones aren't even that good and all, literally. So, yeah, I feel comfortable just skipping that. Then... Also, let me briefly go ahead and check something. Yep. Just realized I had some background programs open that I really don't need to have open. So, yeah. I think my plan currently is to just get back home and just see if I can bring some turbo motors over. I'm like fairly certain. Oh wait, another summer sloop. I'm fairly certain I've found turbo motors before. So while I'm not making them yet, using them for a hard drive is very much worthwhile, I would say. And locating another summer sloop? Yeah. That's very much worth it to me to have another look around. Yes, that can help in a lot of ways. I should also really have a look at the next project component, as well as I'm gonna say it's underground somewhere. That looks breakable, but I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm out of cartridges. But hold on, I have an idea. I have some coupons left. I can get these, right? Yes, and I can say buy all. Perfect. Leaves I'm not interested in keeping on hand. And then we can just dismantle this awesome shop. Alright. The only thing is I don't know if these bombs are strong enough to break this wall. Partially. Which is good enough. Let's see what we have here. Well, hostiles, that's for sure. Oh. Yellow one is up above. Well, first take care of these best. And I missed the big guy. Let's run away a bit. Right, I have these. These are one of them. Which, while it doesn't sustain for much, it does sustain some. I'm pretty sure these also count as weapons, so let's go ahead and try it. Yeah, I would say that's not worth it. Well, Summer Sloop still in this direction from here. But I see another breakable cave thingy. So perhaps this will be more lucky, or maybe it's up above. It's also possible. In any case, I'm going to try to break as much of this wall as possible, but it seems like this side's more breakable. Because... okay. That's a tin apparently, but that's cool. Then it probably wasn't intentional that I broke this wall from the other side. Nah, I'll take it. In any case, now let's hunt up above for the Summer Sloop, I guess. I hear something, but that sounds more like, yeah, there's a versus right here.
This fleeting temple holds a residence song. Play it for us.
Yeah, I think I can take these hits. But let's try to just not get hit by them. There's more coming. Yeah, hold on. Have I taken care of all of them by now? I still see one flying around, but I can take one hit. It's not a problem. Well, not what I was looking for, but might as well get it. It's still located in the Summer Sloop. Hold on a minute, there's a little cave here. Yeah, this very much has potential. Yoink. Then stand back a bit, blast. Are we good? Yes, we are good. Mine.
I am curious about your first symphony now.
There are a few songs about the first temple. It was a vessel body, but we were still shallow. The void swallowed our music and gave only silent lines. We started weaving in lines and we built many temples and then we discovered the curves. We started growing blood and altars and new orchestras and eventually the tapestry deepened.
I'm not sure I fully understand the mechanics of this yet,
Said Trombone.
but I'm sure I will soon enough.
Set some bone. Alright. Well, pretty happy with 6 summer sloops in total. That's like really good, I would say. Alright. Yeah, I was about to say, like another one that sounds a bit too good to be true. It would make for an interesting way to hide crap. In any case, this also looks breakable, so it's not. Well, let's try to get it properly down there. Okay, well, my mistake. I thought that looked breakable, and it's clearly not. Another Mercer sphere. I'm getting distracted a lot with things currently, but on the other hand, I find these things interesting to gather, so I'll just gather them, you know, it's good. Wow, that's laggy.
Live, laugh, consume.
Why are we so laggy all of a sudden? Guessing because you're also in the area? Alright, I'm not sure why, but suddenly we are really laggy. Well, it seems to be resolving itself. Oh, never mind. There's straight up uranium on this thing. Oh well. Do I really want to go for another one? Yeah, I do. The funny thing is we're not even that far away currently from where I have prep set up. Inside the raw quartz. No. Nope, I'm guessing there's another underground thingy somewhere around here. And I'm not sure where it is, so... Well... We have this thing that's just begging to be blown open. Apparently also I cannot aim. Let's make sure we get that thing properly. Well. Is this close enough? Yes it is. Yeah, it is purple, so it's one of the better slugs, I suppose. We are really jamming through these explosive things currently, but oh well. That makes me wonder if they can blow up crap like this. These poison spout thingies, can they be... Well, I blew up something, but... They can. Okay. Alright, so... I can also do this and it will just clear that kind of junk. Not sure how often I'll use that, but that's useful. We also just have a Mercer's Wheel lying around here. Let's see, anything else that's interesting? We like a pouch like around here somewhere, I suppose. That's not too interesting for me. In any case, here we go with our power generation. Since when are you here? Well, it's not there anymore, that's for sure. I'll just go ahead and drive it. Yep, because this is one way to get around a bit quicker. Is to just yoink the tractor for it. So, okay, I can even blow poisonous gas spouts. That's something that's, well, it's just useful to know in general. Yes, but also have a higher tier one. Should maybe consider using that one over this one. On the other hand, this works. Yes, there we have it, our beautiful. And the rest I'll just run down. Yeah, the tractor is gonna be speeding up again, which is nice. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun. Dun dun dun. Dun dun. Nice, so let's see. I do still have a whole project about trying to clean this place up so it's a bit neater than it is now. Which last time we did, it's an improvement above what it was. I know there's still crap like this, but small steps. It seems in the meanwhile we are not producing enough cables. Why are you idle? We actually don't have enough quick wire. Okay. That's fair. Well, we did get some summer loops. How's the power doing? Power's doing fine. Yep. still dumping a bunch of stuff into the awesome shop tin. Some things we might as well be dumping. Let's see. You are making project parts. You are already doubled. Perfect. You're also making project parts. Are you doubled? No, you aren't. Yep. Perfect. Yeah, if you're like good on power, there's no reason not to use summer slips for things that it will speed up. Done. Alright. Let's now have a look at power switch. Don't really need that. I want the project components. So we're making 2 of them already. And then we have the complicated ones. Can I search for... Cannot really search in the description. Yeah. I wish I could. That would make it a bit easier. Right, if I also start to search into parts, which is where the stuff is, that would also help. Genius, I know. So let's see. What does one need? Should also really get this going perhaps, but occasionally buying it for now. So right, turbo motors, one thing. Right, here it is. Right, this thing required quite a complicated process. So we can either do, well, let's see, what do we need regardless of which recipe we're picking. We do need motors, which we have set up, but that's not going to be nearly enough probably. Electromagnetic control rods. We do have this one set up. But might want to do his own dedicated one, seeing as it requires a few. Radio control units. We have a setup, but the aluminium thingies are not being supplied automatically yet, which, yeah, we would need to do. But we need these regardless. I do think I prefer electromagnetic control rods over needing to set up cooling systems. Although, do I need cooling systems for anything else? And the other is rubber versus rotors. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah, I do kind of need you for this one already though. So there's little point in doing the alternative. Yeah. Although this one is faster. No, how many do you need a minute? 1. So that doesn't even matter. We do have one floor below us. Our current setup stuff. Yeah, this is clipping horrendously. You're also kind of stale because you don't have enough cables. I never gave you wires again, didn't I? Oops. Alright, then there's something I forgot. Let's see. These are quick wires, right? On the other side. Pretty sure those are, but let's confirm. Yeah, quick wire. Let's see. I have wire running here. All the way down here, then gets merged up into splits up. It will go up above. And it's going back around here. Up above, once again. And it's being used here, right? Yeah, it is. Okay. I'm gonna say this one is important enough that we do want to go ahead and fix that up. Maybe we can just... I have an idea. Yeah, it's not perfect currently. Try to make it neater, but we can at least try to not make it worse. Let's put that as a goal for now. Architecture. I have conveyor. Yeah, conveyor holes. Yes. Perfect. So that's now connected. And the advantage is I also see right away where it is. Yeah, a bit of a false positive with the stuff to intercept. But what we can now easily do is get ourselves a neat little splitter. Might be difficult with the connection, but we will see. Are you gonna be difficult or not? Yeah, you are. Anyway, let's check. Different solution. You go like this instead. Then we're getting the splitter a little further. Then we're taking the belt. And there we go. Yeah, it's Mark 4 into Mark 5, so that doesn't look that neat, but it really doesn't need that much either, so the main thing is it's filling a bit of backlog right now. Yep, and then you're gonna go ahead and produce 100 a minute, which, yeah, you will just make and you'll consume. So that fixes this thing not working. Because you are not getting any adaptive control units at the moment. So, yeah. Let's see. And you are making enough of them, so don't feel like there's a need to overclock it. The does mean the factory is producing a bit more, using a bit more, but that's fine. Yeah, these things going into there is not great, especially because they just need to end up over here anyways. Let's see, does it make sense to just put these guys on this? In this case, doesn't particularly make sense to do that. Since they're gonna overlap with like a lot of stuff. I'll think about it. Regardless, that process of steel needs to be changed. Right, so for the next component, more radar towers could also be an option to explore a bit more efficiently. It's not super necessary. In any case, let's go ahead and put our Mercer straight away. Yeah, I have like 11 of those. That means they're in this box. 55 Mercer spares. It's a healthy amount. I can also do this, but I really don't want to use my summer slips on that, honestly. These might be worth it to get a deposit that we can upload to manually. In any case, let's see. How are you on rotors? You're still good for now. I've disconnected you. What were you even transporting? You were transporting the quick wire. Oh, no wonder you're not getting any. Thinking out like this nice belt and like doomed. Alright, let's go ahead and remind ourselves where it is. Alright, so you're going up. And then you're going straight into here. Which would be fine if you also didn't need to be over here. So, let's see. You're coming out over here, right? Yep. What makes the most sense to fix that mix up? Since I kind of want it to be tidy. But that's proven to be a challenge. I'm gonna say this is still very good this way. But what we could do, so I got an idea. We're getting the splitter from here to just over here, so not like a crazy distance, and then we could just connect it up like this. What we also could do is yeah, put it on straight mode. So we need to be over here somewhere eventually, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say, let's just do it like this for now, and we can always clean it up later. Because I don't mind having this sort of thing going on. There we go. So, yeah, supercomputers is not the limiting factor currently. But also, are we producing enough of them? Let's see, like, how many do you need a minute? You need 0.75 a minute. I'm gonna say you're good, right? Yeah, you're more than good. And you also don't seem to have an issue with computing. So, yep. So that solves those two things. So back to the point. Let's see. We do have modular engine productions already. Over here, it's currently paused. It requires motors. They're still being fed in, and it's at 2.5 minutes. So let's go ahead and turn you back on. You're gonna a lot of power. Oh, hold on. If I turn you off, can I manually kickstart this grid again? Okay, we're getting there. Okay. I'm glad to see that still works, but we need to do some power management. So you're high for this cycle only, because I overclocked it like crazy. Let's see, so you're going off, that should give us a little more wiggle room. And then you can turn on, it only needs to complete like this once. You're in idle again. Yeah, okay. I didn't think that would be an issue, but here we are. It only saves like 15. You're on standby because you're actually full. Wow. Regardless, let's put you on standby. You're going on standby. So with this, we should have a decent enough gap that at least for a few seconds, perhaps, it would mean that we're good on power usage. Like, I just want you to run normal. And I know that once it's done with this crafting operation, it will drop down its power usage dramatically. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, those machines get price if you're running. Let's see, I put you online, alright? So you're going back online and everybody's happy. We do have batteries of some sort, I think. I currently don't have any on the grid. Might want to go ahead and do that. Yeah, power storage. Yeah, I'm building myself some power storage, actually. What are you doing here? I really need to clean up this vault, because that thing keeps getting stuck and stuck and stuck. And it's not good. Also, these are fairly cheap buildings, so no good reason actually why I don't already have some. Let's go ahead and get like 5 of them. 'Cause I think that's plenty. Rat, remember, needs to be connected to a pole. Also, I know I have to hide here. Being a bit lazy about it currently. Here we go. So, it's gonna take a while until it's full, to be clear. But that means we should have like a tiny bit of bounce back. Me overloading the grid for a bit doesn't cause a fuse to blow out, because that just no good. Yep, I'd say that's good enough for me. Right, so what makes sense to do? Like this, I want to move. Probably want to move a bunch of this as well. Let's see. I do have a lot of space here, but I don't think we're gonna want nuclear here. Let's see. Yeah, you're already producing at maximum efficiency. Yeah, we're getting a decent amount. So I think that's fine for now. What to do, what to do. Nuclear power setup is gonna be one hell of an investment. There is something we should do in the meanwhile though. So, having a look in the map. Right, I'm not sure this is worth it. This is You know what, I'm gonna go in power augment. Is it worth it? Because it's a lot. Mm-hmm. The internet tells me no, so I'm gonna follow that. Although I'm curious what's beyond that hint, so let's see. This is not very important, but this could possibly easy to just do. This, I mean, sure, if we have it, if not, then not. Medical inhaler and medicinal inhaler. Yeah, this is something we can't build. Pulse Nobelisk. We don't have that. Cluster. Alright, rifle. Now, rifle is something I'm fairly interested in. Because we are encountering those enemies that are like strong. So let's see. What do I need to research this? We need smokeless powder, which is made in a refinery with heavy ore residue. I mean, don't love that recipe, honestly. I'm gonna say too much effort for that. Meanwhile you are charging, that's very nice. So yeah, we found one that's like really high in terms of stuff. I do think nuclear power will be necessary. Very much so for the component stuff. In fact, I should just go ahead, take like 1 or 2 more, and why don't we get some batteries? Yeah, I'm just calling them batteries. I know they have a different name, and I don't care, they're batteries to me. Alright, there's room over here for 4 more. And the reason I want batteries is we do have like a big well, let's put it like that. We have a catalyst, or not really catalyst. How do you call this recipe? You have another stock, that's for sure. For the thermal base, you have a recipe that requires a machine that has varying level of power out usages. But one thing they make absolutely clear it's gonna be using a lot. So perhaps if we go ahead and already get like a bunch of power storage, and we do that ahead of time, then that might just mitigate some of the difficulties with that. You're also not. You ain't connected. No, you are already connected. Perfect. Alright, the charge rate is a bit lower because of the power usage and all that. But I'm gonna say that's fine. I'd rather have a bit too much power being stored than too little after all. Nice. Alright, that seems perfect to me. Right, so we wanna get nuclear power. Let's just go for nuclear power. So you are expensive and you are very big. Like, I thought I had fairly big floors, but this one I would need to put like on the roof. And I'm fairly certain this is gonna produce radioactive stuff, so let's try to go ahead and localize all the production near uranium. Well, it's gonna be some effort, I think, but I think we're just gonna have to do it. So, alright, uranium. Where can we find some? Preferably pure. Nowhere close, clearly. Yeah, okay. We need to go far away regardless. I do have tier 3 miners unlocked at this stage, but we're not producing the components for them. Don't want to go ahead. It is like the case, it will produce a lot. Let's see if we have, because I know I found the engines near wreckages before. Even though I'm not producing them yet. Perhaps I've also found cubes. I do. So I should be able to get myself a Mark III miner, right? Yeah, as long as it's placed on the research now, so I can say like, yeah, perfect. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Yeah, you're a bit pointless. I'll figure out what to do with this one later, I suppose. Concrete. We're likely to need a lot of that. You know what? I haven't really been using this thing that much. It should be in there, dimensional depot. So does this require Mercer sphere and then that sand material, which we are producing. So The only thing I need to do is just remove the belt. Because let's actually go ahead and use those. Also, it's messing up the truck occasionally, which is not the biggest deal in the world. But also, I can pin 33 of them now. It's perfect. So the only other thing we need is that, right? Right, so this might very much not be an optimum way of using it. I am very keenly aware of that. Let's just split off some of the concrete. Only question becomes, where do I go ahead and split it off? Splitter perhaps. I don't know. Can you even build a splitter on one like that? No, but we can put it like this. So yeah, we're actually gonna be using these orbs for once. Right, and remind me, because there's a bunch of upgrades we can do with them. Under alien technology, if I get 17 computers, we can do that. Yeah, we're doing that. No questions asked. Like, zero, nada, zilch. Yoink. What don't we need? I don't need this raw quartz, and we should also dump the power slugs before we go. So, will that be very effective? No, it won't be that useful. Like, we can store like some of it in there, but I'm just gonna be using it fairly cheaply just to get concrete easier. It's gonna require a lot, and I want to avoid having to carry that much. And it's not the SEM that we need. I'll not process it into its end product yet. It's possible. Let's just see. I thought I was, but perhaps I wasn't. Okay, I wasn't. That needs to be in manufacturer. It does have a fairly simple recipe. It's not a complicated one at all. I don't have enough space in the inventory. Also, I need more gas filters. Can I make some more of those? No, not at all. I need mainly coal and some fabric. Well, that can be arranged. I don't need individual biomass. Yeah, this is an easy recipe. So we'll just craft this bit manually. We mainly need more SEM ore. Which shouldn't take so long to get, just you need a fairly large amount of it. I only need 2 more. You know what? We have enough of this stuff to process that. Do I want to yoink a quick dirty little setup for it? You know what? Yeah. I do. Since we're gonna be needing it anyway, let's get ourselves a constructor. Not even gonna build foundations. Let's try to get it semi-decent. You're gonna be making it solid biofuel. So I can just toss you in here, or no. You just go in here. And then, yeah, I know it's totally overkill, but I don't care how I felt. I don't really care. And then you just need power from somewhere. Here we go. I'm not gonna be overclocking that. That way I can just process this. Right, I have even more leaves, so. Swords, you go like this. Mycelium I would never use for that. Protein, I mean, sure. Yoink, yoink, yoink. And that will just process away. And I'll just make the alien DNA capsule things. Which I could also do in a constructor, but I'm not gonna bother with that, honestly. Just you need a little bit of biofuel every now and again. So yeah, I'll just yoink these in there. It will eat them and it will give me like 1 cube, which is fine with me. Right. Power slugs are the other things we need to get rid of. You, I can go ahead and get rid of. Reanimate some we need and a bit more at that. I'm betting it has produced a bit. And that means it should go ahead and just about it should be plenty. So yeah. And we'll just make as much as possible, why not? One I'll toss. So that should mean now we can do this upgrade. Yeah, which will make it more useful.
Manual depot uploader unlocked. Storage dimension and pocket dimension now connected both ways and stable.
Yep.
Parts can now be uploaded to the storage dimension directly from the inventory. Note: The storage dimension now understands the boundaries of the pocket dimension and recognizes the distinction between matter belonging to the Pioneer's inventory and matter belonging to the Pioneer.
The window within the window within the shallows within the deep, curling around itself separately, echoes strangely.
I'm sure strange is the correct term for what this must feel like to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, we're gonna be building it. So I don't have an obvious location for it. Build mode. Yep, a depot like this, and a bit further. Like, let's put it down here. So the other thing we're gonna need is a bunch of iron though, so maybe, and this would really depend on where it ends up. It really doesn't end up in a good place if we do it there. Okay. So slight adjustment. So let's see if we remove you. You can probably come up here without too much trouble. Yeah, I'm fine with doing that. Like, technically this is clipping, but it's minor enough that I don't care. Conveyor lift. Can we go ahead and get this neatly connected? I think we can. Perfect. Right, you ending up over there is not ideal, so let's just go ahead and do this. And you don't seem to be connected, that's fine. This should connect you right up. And no, it doesn't. Does this connect you? Well, you know what, we'll know soon enough if we do this. If we go here, for example, will you have, yes you will. I know I said stuff about timing this. Still really want to, but I would like to be practical. And it will just take some questions. Currently it's not laid out to be that neat. merger. Do kind of want it to be on one belt. Will you be alternating this way? Perfect. So yeah, it's, and then I can go ahead and just access it right from here. That's perfect. And I can drop stuff in here, make sure it gets stored automatically. And that's perfect, because then we can just go ahead and throw in the queue stuff that, you know, we need, and stuff we even don't need. But that's perfect for storing stuff like that. So, yeah, with that being said and done, so that's set up. Do I want to get any more upgrades? Because probably can. We can do uploads and we can increase the amount of stuff in there. I'm gonna say it's not really necessary. Yeah, no. Unnecessary at the moment. So yeah, and I don't need to have my inventory for it. Right, it will just continue to process. Perfect. So with this thing just chugging right along, I should have now got like a wireless way to build foundations wherever I want and how much ever I want. That's perfect. Also, it's exactly doing what I wanted it to do, which is just alternate. And yeah, it will probably get stuck eventually, but that's like fine. Yeah. Let's just focus on setting up nuclear power. Don't know if we can do it today fully, because it will be a lot of work, but on the other hand, I do want all the power that it can give me. A bit of a challenge. We'll try to do it orderly. Now, do we have, what's like the nearest? Uranium, we have one over there. I have one over here. Impure, no way. We would rather not do impure if we can at all avoid it. In fact, if possible, we want to go for pure. Now, as to whether we can do that, there's another question, and this is also something useful, I've just realized. I can just yoink monster materials in here. Why not? It allows me to throw all of this stuff in there. Do we need this stuff that much? Probably not, maybe never, but it allows me to just toss it in here. It would also be really good for gas masks. Let's go ahead. Probably should just use the water up there. And then it doesn't matter too much. Let's do another scan. Do we have any better spots for it? This is normal. Pure raw quartz. That's nice, but that's not what we're looking for. Uranium purity normal. The thing is, the entire production I want to be done locally, so I would rather pick like the best uranium nodes and then just take a tiny bit longer to get there than pick a normal node. We're definitely not going for an impure node, because I ideally want to figure out how to get like a shitload of power. That's like my goal currently. Oh, that's a purple one here. I'll yoink a purple one. Oh, jeez. How many of you are there? 3. I didn't realize there were 3 of them. Well, we're grabbing that crate and then we're sprinting the hell out of them. Yeah. That kind of stuff. We should try to see if the rifle is good at dealing with those. Normally, like, you can handle one of them. 2 challenging, but it can be done. 3 of them, yeah, no. That's like too much. I think it also drops the stuff that's in the process of the plugin, so see if I find it here. Should have known type of deal. Yoink, take all, and then run. It's also, I'll probably use at least 1 radiation filter. Oh, right. These things are mobile. Very, very mobile. Yep. Right. Yep. They are very nasty. can jump high, buddy, but you can't jump this high. No, they might eventually still find their way up there. That's the thing about that. Didn't know they could get hostile toward each other. Oh right, there's also a yellow power slug here. There was multiple things in there that were being defended. Alright, I was definitely uploading you. You can go right in there. There's other stuff that makes sense to upload. These. Frames I was uploading, seems like. And I've already reached the maximum amount of those. I'm gonna say for now this is what we're just gonna be delightfully calling good enough. It's good enough. It's not amazing, but it will do, basically. Let's go ahead and scoop on over here. Oh, there's a Mercenary over there. We might as well just yoink that while we're here. Also based on the location, it's probably not gonna be guarded. Yeah, there's the cemetery, all that we're producing. Should maybe look into refining that into shorter form and then donating it. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, that's my normal node. It's probably this node. It's also normal. That spins like in this direction. Which means it's this impure node, which is no good at all. We'll just go with the normal node, I suppose. I would rather have a pure node, honestly. You know, we'll scan for that once we get to the node in question. But we might have a case of that's way too far to be even practically reachable. No, against small splitters, this thing is actually very useful. We probably don't need to keep the chainsaw left. Yoink. Splitter remains. Go right into it. Yeah, and I'll yoink resources if I can. Yeah. Also not following an exact route at the moment, just kind of wandering around a bit. I can show this thing is loaded. One more scan. Just to see, are you getting... Yeah, but that's just the one that's over there. Yep. Yeah, that's like the one that's basically totally pointless to me. Is in this direction. Let's go a little sideways, shall we? Also, I think there's a better way to get there. That leads me totally into a wall. Nice. Well, I'm yoinking the Mercer's way, I suppose. Hydra is also in this direction. I should actually just ignore it. Let's see. I see. Stuff here. Huh, never mind, we just found another one. And it's decently well guarded. Usually these things, for whatever reason, they're guarded. Oh, even a summer and it's sneakily hidden up here. These should be difficult to pinpoint. There we go.
Sings the first symphony of the blood.
First, there was a whole involved process of evolution from single-celled organisms to mammals, rodents specifically.
Explosion.
And that's not even explaining the whole dinosaur extinction meteor making room for mammals to dominate the animal kingdom instead.
Multiple explosions.
You know what, I will just compile a data package for you to look at later, because I don't even know where to start with the whole ape thing.
Harmonious explosion.
Yep. Nice. Alright. That does work, but it does take like a fair amount of them. We weren't even really looking for our drive, but well, I suppose getting lost every once in a while does have its advantages. Need 150 watts of power. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to produce it right away, but that is a shame, because we definitely do have the capacity to produce that power. But to get it here, right away is tricky. One more summer flip is great though, I guess. In fact, I should yoink all of these things in there. Yep. Like, pretty much the best way to ensure it stays safe. You are also going in there. You can get the swim animation from there. Wait, I mean you can swim here. Alright, the game allows you to do that. I have explosions, right? Alright, why is there breakable rock randomly here? I'm curious. For no apparent reason at all. You're annoying. Let's just try it. Damage us first. Nope. Didn't realize that I was smart enough to get towards me, and did it, so... Yep. You can take a lot of damage. Really nothing hidden up here? I guess maybe the spotlight counts. Semi-hidden? No. Alright. Game, I'm not in a river. That's a bit of broken collision, I suppose. So yeah, that's it then. Regardless though, the uranium should be around there somewhere. There we have it, and it's guarded, of course. Yeah, these things are usually guarded. At the very least, I found this earlier, and there's already a power line for this. And also all the enemies have just respawned, so... At the very least we have enough filters. Is that all of them is the problem with these guys? It's always the case here of... did we get all of them? But yeah, this is a normal mode. So I would say that's perfect. Can I stand somewhere to check things that's not radioactive? Here we go. Let's take like all of the concrete and it's in one go, which is perfect. looking that way. You know what, I don't care. No, actually, also, if we have this thing, then... Yep, we're using this. And yeah, this will be an independent base, but I do want it built on foundations. Let's do it on the highest foundation that we have to have. It's not like there's a lot of room around here. Alright, this might be enough for some of the basic processing. Where can we join more space? This seems good. Right, and we're not able to fly here because it's too far away. It's fine. Now, I don't know how much room we are gonna want to have. But let's just create as much room as possible now. Yep, this seems reasonable-ish. In terms of the amount of room we're using here. Yeah, it will do for now. Let's get ourselves a power cable up here. Over here, over here. Nice. We'll even build markets in here. Nice. This way I won't even need to be blocked with radiation. So yeah, nuclear power, we're gonna want that. 2500 is like a good amount of power. We're gonna need to figure out how much power we can produce actually. But let's figure that out later. I can use those things to build while they're in there. Okay, that has potential. 240 a minute. Cool. The tin is red uranium. I kind of want to set up the process and things before I just go ahead and wreck all my buildings. Set though. That's my weapon, which I do want to keep on me. That'll work. Yeah, area mode for sure. I hope it can clear some of these things. Get it out over here. But we will see. You can go. We're getting so maybe we can. Well, to be fair, that's not a good reason. And there's some minor stuff. You know what? We'll just do it like this. And then we can actually target it. Perfect. Let's just ensure. I don't know if we even have enough room. but assuming we do, let's make sure we can fly around no matter where we are on the platform. Yeah, we weren't able to make a perfect square yet. I thought I had dealt with all the enemies. At least you came alone. So that makes it a bit easier for me. Meanwhile, let's clean up the old inventory. Perfect. So yeah, you just right. Yeah. So that'll just despawn in a moment. Oh, you come from over here. Let's practically take a look at this. I'll get the purple slug. That's nice to have. And then just fly over to here. There's another one over here. Well, don't mind if I do, I suppose. Yoink. Alright, so it's rich in purple slugs I've discovered. But let's see. So we want to get to nuclear power, which this platform is not even... It's barely big enough for one. In fact, is it even big enough for one? Yeah. No. Well. Concrete is peanut loaded. I can see now why we might want to do something about the speed limit. But, yeah, it's fine. Let's go ahead and just figure out the process. Well, I'm semi-safe here, or at least should be. Let's have a look at the waste. We also need to deal with the waste. Which, if possible, I want to set that up right away so that we don't have any issues with it. Let's see. Alright, uranium is currently only used with concrete and sulfuric acid to make encased, and you get a tiny bit of it back. So, okay, we probably also need to set up a sulfur system somehow. But I digress. We want to use all of the uranium in minutes, ideally. How many of these slugs are there in this area? Like, I've just been noticing one after the other. We can shoot 15, yeah, that's fine. Right, so you can do 240 a minute. Ideally, I want this to be running at 100%. So, I'm gonna go ahead and just grab the equivalent of a little notepad to make down notes. So, we're producing 240 a minute. I want to use all of it. One of these ones can use 50. I would rather just have one too many and slightly underclock it. So we would need 5 blenders. I mean, that's... Let's just calculate what the maximum of power would be. So we're gonna need... So that's for all of the uranium to be used. Then we just need to see how much concrete we need. So we need 15 each. So we're gonna need 60, and then because we can gloriously adjust this, I think that will be 20, right? Yep. So that's 12 a minute. Then let's calculate how much sulfuric acid we need. We need 40, 40, 40, 40, and then we need mats, very excited. 32, but we do get 10 back from it, effectively. So what we need to do is set up a little storage for at the start. And then we should be good. So in terms of concrete, you're gonna need 15, 30, 45, 60, 72 concrete. A minute. For the sulfuric acid, for this step in the process, we still need 152 sulfuric acid a minute, and that is taken into account the stuff that we get back from it. So that's already quite the substantial investment. Let's also go ahead and mark it. Right over here. Right, we can just do stamps like that. Yeah, I'll just use it to indicate that I've set up my thingy over here. So maybe we can just build this up in height, like one. And you know what? I'm getting way ahead of myself. So that's just the first basic part of what we need to do. So then we have encased uranium cells, which go at the rate of, let's see, so this goes at the rate of 25 a minute and 20. So the output will be 120 encased a minute. That's actually fairly good, because that means we can just use 6 manufacturers. Yeah, and it needs a bit of steel beams, encased steel beams, and electromagnetic control rods. Really need to figure out the supply chain here, jeez. Luckily they need a very tiny amount. Like It's 1.2 minutes, so 1.2. So we're doing 1.2 times 6, so we need 7.2 minutes. Maybe we should consider using drones here, because that's a very low amount. And 2 times 6 would be 12 minutes. So to use the output, we would need 7.2 encased industrial beams. 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm really taking notes. Control rods. We just need a total of 12 a minute. And that will get us 0.4 for each of them. So we just need to multiply 0.4 times 6. Would be 2.4 minutes. So we're not making a lot of fuel rods, to be clear. And that's it. That's what we use in power plants. Produces Gaussian moderately radioactive. So that's a lot of potential, but another thing is, how much does a nuclear power plant use? I'm gonna go ahead and nuclear power plants. And I want to know how much we're using. Alright, so it says only 0.2 rods a minute. We're gonna need to double check that, but if so, we need to build a lot of power plants. So assuming it's 0.2 a minute, we would need like 12 of them. I have no idea if that's accurate or not. Also, we need to head back to base, because we're using way too much concrete. The point where it's not viable with the speed at which we're uploading to even consider. Let's briefly just head back to base, I suppose. Yeah, I'm briefly heading back to base, and we're getting like a lot more concrete. What we could also do is make like a tiny amount of them, so we can really confirm what the usage is going to be. Because 0.2 a minute, that's like Not a lot at all. Mind you, it does need a lot of stuff. And going like totally overboard in terms of power generation, to me sounds like it would be good. Totally according to plan. Also, it's funny how in Earth decaying poisonous gas is much of a threat, and now it just isn't anymore. So we have like 2 good ways of dealing with it at the moment. You can either blow up the stuff that creates the poisonous gas, one option. That's fairly pricey to do, so I'd rather not do that. Or the other option, which is of course also possible, is just to make sure you have enough gas filters. Which maybe I should go ahead and automate them and just feed them in that portable inventory thingy that I'm using. I had it before, but if I'd realized it would have been so useful a bit ago, I would have already gotten it. No questions asked. Yeah, you are still uploading it. That's fair. Right. But I'm just gonna grab like a ton of it. Yeah, that should be enough. Should also find a good way to actually go back and forth between it. Like, this way is not that fast, so. If I ever do another playthrough of this game, which I might, it's legitimately enjoyable, I should tackle something way differently than I have been. That much is clear, but yeah, oh well. Yeah, and here's some more of the same more, except impure, so it's not that good. line like this should be fine, because I should get power here in a moment. Yeah. So I would say that works out well enough. There we go. So let's see if the wiki's correct, which it might be. I need 6 of these. And yeah, they are massive. Oh, you also need water. We can deal with that. I'm not that concerned about it. Although you do need 240 water each. Okay. But we should be able to do that much. Right. So according to sources, you need a lot of them. So let's see. I'm gonna go for one manufacturer here. And yeah, this is another thing. We also need to go ahead and consume the waste. But first we're focusing on the relatively easy part, of course. Encased, so it needs to be in. Oh, so even if I want to do a little test. I was thinking like, let's do like a little test. I don't even have all this stuff. But I'm gonna need sulfuric acid regardless. But let's set this up like alright, so uranium will be built here. Let's just first take care of sulfuric acid, why don't we? Water, don't really need that. Burn normal and pure. Alright, so there's a lot of water here, so and also a little river here. So like realistically this should be fairly good. But we are also gonna need sulfur. Let us first set up sulfur. Alright, that's not that far away, that's normal node. That is far away, that's a pure node. Let's first just have a look at the normal node because it's much closer. In this case, that's something that's convenient to me. That being said, let's go ahead and get slightly back. Also, this does give my concrete stuff the time to just upload. And yes, with the good electrical pulse. Let's see, is this close to where the sulfur? Because it's sulfuric acid, so 240 this way, cool. far. Alright, where is it? I think I've spotted it. Yeah, don't mind them. The lines here go through the environment. I want to be neat. There's a limit to everything. Yoink, yoink. Now I don't know how much of this we're gonna need, but Mark 3 if at all possible. Just missing steel pipes. Well, let's go back to base, get more steel pipes and 3 more portable miners. Hey, I'm definitely hearing something. But honestly, I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, I'm just gonna run as straight of a line as possible to the base. Because, well, straight line is always the fastest. Not taking into account acceleration and stuff. We also really should consider just setting up stuff for gas and such. There's pure coal over there. I mean, that's good all around. Yep. Also, do I need to do spare sulfur? No, not really, but we might as well. Because like the portable miners and such, yeah, I could have gotten that. By just making a little equipment workshop. But no, let's do it like it. Also, yeah, we're not getting nuclear power set up today, that much is for sure. But we will have it set up soon enough. So, that's good. Also batteries at 100% full, that's perfect. So now we're pretty much good to go for stuff. Perhaps, I'll see. Perhaps I'll even dedicate an entire thing to... On the other hand, if you produce enough power, then it's not necessary, but let's just keep them for backup power. Dun 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 dun. Yep, perfect. So now I'm just gonna yonk some steel pipes over there. Yep, plenty of them are available. And then 3 portable miners. my inventory is full of stuff again. No, these ugly stuff we can actually just toss in here. That's something for sure. This, these. And we should also just get the stuff we need for an blender. Because in general, let's have a look at how to make sulfuric. Sulfuric acid. So packaging, we will worry about that later. Right, so we get it as a recipe or just as it is. So we really only have one way to make it. Right, because this is just a packaging which will be fast, but that requires you to package it, which will give you the same amount back. And furthermore, just used in stuff in general. So yep. So we just need a refinery. Refinery is gonna need a couple more motors. Nope. Never thought this part could be in this handy. How many of those can you store? I can only store 50. Not a lot. Well, I do have upgrades, right? Maintenance needs is the SAM stuff. You know what? That stuff was fast to craft anyway. So let's just craft a bunch. Yep, that sounds reasonable. Yeah, I know I can automate this, but I'm just hesitant to automate things that you can crack this quickly. It's like, do you want to really automate that? It's not like it's going to make that much of a difference. Yep. There we go. Alright. That's 61. In like, I'd say a fairly short time. That's enough for like one thing. Well, well, I want capacity for first and foremost.
Dimensional expansion increased to 200%. Refining manipulation of SAM allows us to now deconstruct non-living matter down to its atomic components in one dimension, and store it in basic bound states in another.
We do not resonate with the tribute song. Do not worship at the window. Desecrate our temple gifts. This shallow serenade is sour and salt.
My intention was not to encroach, if that is what upsets you, nor was it to dispose of material I do not waste.
Alright, so we got a bit of a conflict. You know what? I'm entertained enough by the Ava stuff going on there. That I'll just see if I can make like a bunch. I'm in the point of the game where I can just whip up a manufacturer. You know what? And I don't think automation is necessary in this case because it's just a component, but let's see. If I put down one here and I say you go ahead and you go manufacture some, you do 10 a minute, that's... yeah. I would say that's not worth it. Done. I'll just get almost 2 stacks of these things. We're taking a tiny bit of damage, but that's fine. And then it's just so quick to make. Well, to be fair, we do need quite a bit though. 103, 151, almost 200. Let's do like 1 speed upgrade more. That seems decent. Done. Done. This is also the stuff I should just be taking with me. You know what? I don't think we need the scanner on land right away, currently. Concrete is useful, but why do I have it here? And I also have some more manufactured semi already. Yeah, doesn't matter too much. I think we'll just go for speed for now, and that should be fine. Yep. Let's see if there's another argument here.
Dimensional upload speed increased. Part of the kinetic and thermal energy released during matter conversion has now been repurposed to aid with dimensional shifting, allowing for more parts to be transferred in a short time frame.
Loop the veins, ease the flow, make a curve out of a line. Your shallow minds create shallow solutions. Pretty ripples.
Shallow mind? Pretty ripples? I certainly hope that wasn't meant to include me.
Probably, but yeah, let's just set up. No, not a dismantle. Right. You know what? I'm not gonna do it in a very pretty way, probably. But let's just set up that semi-refinement process. Because we need enough of it that perhaps a tiny bit of automation would be good. Yeah. And let's go all out and use force sources. Yep. That's worth quite a bit. So the reanimated SEM goes in. Wire. And then where do we have wire? Or rather, let's just stick out first. Just because I happen to know that they are right over here. You have steel beams. So, yeah, this will very much temporary then, because as far as I know, that material is only used for these upgrades so far. So therefore we can just allow it to be fairly straightforward. Yeah, that definitely does encroach on clearance, but that's an example of where it obviously is not going to overlap. And we just need wire. We do have time to space for wire, but on the other hand, also not that necessary. Let's see, where can we find wires? This should be quick wire, and this is what we need. Splitter along here. This part's already not need. I know this is not speeding up the refactoring of it, but still. Perfect. And here we go. So we're using 220 a minute. How's our power usage looking like? No, this is acceptable. At least I'm gonna call this acceptable. So in little to no time at all, it should produce a fair amount of stuff. Now, let's see if I go ahead and open the codex. That we need. Right. This has its stuff. Right, so we're fine. We have enough to make a good amount of them. You are big, that's fine. So let's go ahead and just run. This process is already probably at a standstill. Yep. It very much is. Why don't I just set up an interdimensional depot for you? I can get the materials back. We'll just do. Nope, I'm missing some. Let's just focus on the important materials. Perfect. That will increase power consumption for a little bit, though. How are we looking? Decent. Alright, we're skirting the line, but with the batteries we should be good. I'm glad I made a bunch. Good, very good. Yeah, we're just going straight to the sulfur bit. And then we need to decide how we want to transport these things. I think my first idea would be straightforward and just a pipe. We could also just transport it. Then we really need to make sure it makes sense to do that. And it needs it in a large volume. The other stuff, maybe drones, but I'm not sure. Because that does require me to build the whole infrastructure of a drone port and such. So, like we will see. That's basically what it comes down to. Let's first set up the sulfur processing though, and then look further. Also, while waiting for stuff to back stuff, the batteries should come in handy because they should hold this over for a minute as long as I don't go too crazy with it. Oh, mercy. Yep. start being difficult and all that. Cool, that works. Bit much vegetation in the way. On the other hand, let's first of all just connect the power. You go right here. 2:40 minutes, right? Yeah, so let us go ahead and fairly simply set up a conveyor belt right here, and we can see sulfur. Nice. You can be stored in there. So let's just grab one sulfur so we can easily do this. So refinery. And let's see, how much sulfur do we need? Because I would like to fully use it. But given that we do have a limitation there, we need to figure out how much. So 152 a minute. Alright, that's very crucial to know. So, and we also want to make sure we do not go over this. Not over and not under. We want to have an exact match. So 50, 50, 50, and then one that's slightly overclocked probably. Yeah, let's do one at a target of 52. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and overclock one slightly. That should be fine. And the ratio also works out quite well. So it's 1 sulfur to 1 sulfuric acid basically. That's 240 a minute. So we did actually need tier 3, I think. So that's 3 refineries and then 152 water a minute. So we need to figure out where we're gonna get water from, but that's it in terms of concern. Alright, I've already got it changed. Yeah, I know I'm important, so I just need this to get that, basically. You please. Alright, that should be fine. So we just need 3 refineries. Nothing more. Are we gonna be able to fit those in here? Let's just go ahead and make this like a tiny bit wide, but it doesn't need to be that much wider. It's actually fairly good, I think. Let's be careful to not accidentally use a ramp there. And let's just do it like this. Yeah, I think this works. So let's see. We just need 3 refineries set up. And let's just do it like this. We can just bend the belt. Dun 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 dun. bit of a tight squeeze, but it's fine. Dun 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 dun. So let's make sure you are gonna be neat. I don't have any overclockers with me, do I? But I did put some purple sticks in there, so that means we can just say, give me just crafting range, right? Yeah. Oh, I even have some of these. Oh, I can. Right, I can also even just craft them from here. Let's do one like this. And then we should just upload the rest back. It doesn't clog up my inventory. So just one at 52 minutes. Yeah, that's slightly more. Done. And luckily for me, you support enough walls. Except I should realize that you also have the potential to be in the play over there. There we go, that works. And let us now go ahead and do this. Do it in straight line, please. Splitters, please. And this one with a straight belt. Yep. Can I get rid of you though, please? Because you are annoying me great. Yoink. Solid thin, very good. Although, 7 loose concrete, whatever. Perfect. Sulfuric acid. Assets. So once you are connected, don't really care much about the distribution here. It should work out fine. Yes. Yeah, just need to make sure. It's also because this thing is producing slower than these guys can. Than the belt can handle specifically. I'm not really concerned about it. So let's see. We need 152 water in it from somewhere. I think I see a good spot of it. That direction, based on my map. You're running out of quick wire, but I can just switch to like the cheaper balls if I want to. No, that's it. Well, let's first get
Balance the
you.
structure. Compose it into a blood song.
Yep. Alright, let's see. I'm a bit unsure about this part. So we need water extractor. You do 120 a minute by default. Resource is not deep enough. Alright, there's like one tiny angle you can put it in. I'm just gonna overclock it once and use it. Although, hold on, the pipe does need to go all the way up here. Pipe. Mark 1 will do fine. We're gonna go with Mark 1. Noodle. Can we just do this? Perfect. It's a bit unbelievable to me that the game allows that, but I'm not complaining about that. Let's just double check. There's like no useful way that we can do that. Don't know why I have a double foundation thing. We might fix this clipping thing later because yep. That will work, but it obviously needs a pump. I'll go with a Mark II. I'm actually not convinced that a Mark I pump would even reach. Where did a little more power mountain? Right. Should go ahead and start the pump. Yep. Now we just need to make sure that this part of the pump eventually fills. It still fills. Like, I don't know if it's 50. You are, but you're not filling. I must have made it separate parts by accident. Oops. Now this time, you always got to make sure you actually connect. It's so easy to just do a segment that's slightly not connecting. You're producing. You're still on idle. Let's put another pump mark to here. The thing is, this needs to go up so much. I can see one pump just not being enough. I can see it being the case. Power still looking fairly good. Producing. We might just need to wait until this guy fills up. Yeah, this guy's just filling a bit further. Alright. So as soon as this guy is filled up, which he should be filled up soon, then these guys will get their stuff. Right, so that's all working. Cool. And then just combine into one pipe, and then it needs to go over here. Right, I'm gonna need to have a think about how in the world we're gonna transport it all the way. I'm gonna just assume I've already cleared that. Plus, the state of our gas stuff doesn't really allow me to do that. So, yeah. Let's see in the meanwhile how much manufactured SIM has been made. I'll just run partially through it. Yeah. Setting up gas masks also be good. Ironically enough, the radiation stuff is not that concerning. Also, I think I'll just guide and just do the research. Yeah, I think I should. I'm gonna think about how in the world I'm gonna transport all this sulfuric acid. I suppose. Yeah. Still doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me though. not? Why not? Gonna be personally. Please stay and for the right and say hello to me. Alright, bye bye, great time.